Hey folks, well, that's some pretty scary shit right there. Uh, I actually lived in California for about 10 years, and I've felt my fair share of earthquakes. And let me tell you, that one was notable, uh, obviously for its size, but particularly for its length. I mean, the duration, it was just violently shaking for over a minute. And it was shaking for so long that actually I got dizzy. I got a little nauseous. Um, kind of difficult to focus on something that's not moving. I mean, everything was moving. Uh, and here in my town, we only experienced a 4. So I thought, whoa, wow, that's pretty serious. And the second thought that comes to mind is that a rather sizable part of the population of this country is rather elderly. So we've got folks in their 60s and 70s, 80s, and even their 90s. And a lot of these people live primarily alone, and they live in their original house, which in Japan is not really built to last. I mean, the average house, an old house here, might be 30 or 35 years old. That's an old house. So, particularly actually the house here that you're looking at behind me, it's all wood, and it was dancing and squeaking and bumping. Uh, I guess in a way, it's designed to flex, which is why it's still up. I mean, we've had far more serious quakes in this part of the country. So I guess whoever built it knew what they were doing. But the point being that if it is a 9.1, then I'm sure, I'm absolutely positive there's a large number of old people that are lying smashed underneath their house. They're pinned, and their family doesn't live anywhere near them, and the mobile system is down. And how are they going to get any help? They're not. They spent a cold, wet night pinned under their house. I mean, I guess in sort of a disturbing way of thinking about it, maybe the ones who were knocked out or killed are the fortunate ones. I mean, one certainly doesn't wish death on anyone. Well, with a few exceptions, I suppose. But uh, that's a real gut checker right there. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that here in Japan, the national news is still reporting an 8.8. Now, is it an 8.8 or is it a 9.1? I mean, before they were reporting it was an 8.4 when it was 8.9 in New York. The New York Times was saying 8.8 or 8.9. So now, the nuclear cooling station exploded, and the government's saying, "Oh, yeah, well, we should evacuate a 20-kilometer radius from the blast point." Hello, like, I can't even trust the news source to give me accurate magnitude numbers. Why am I gonna trust you guys to tell me, where's a safe place or not? I actually just checked with a neighbor of mine. He said that some professor from Kyoto University said it's a 200 kilometers, 200 kilometers zone, and you need to cover up and wear a mask and wear goggles and something. I don't know. He was panicked because his kids live in Tokyo, and Tokyo's basically right on the edge of that where that professor was saying is the danger zone. So uh, I mean, all the best to him. I hope his family bugs out. And as a word of advice, anyone who's actually thinking about visiting here, I'd recommend you not come for a little while. I don't even know if Narita Airport is allowing flights to land. I mean, I suppose you could land into Osaka, but Sendai's closed. Ibaraki is probably quite likely closed. Um, and then it's difficult to know like what to believe and what not to believe. I mean, I've been hearing that the government of Japan uh, turned down a request for support from the Atomic Energy Commission, and perhaps even from the United States offering its services. I can't figure it out. Uh, then this afternoon there was this there was more aftershocks, and the uh, the government is saying they're going to have a meeting this evening. I mean, like, hello, it's like 6 hours, 8 hours later. What are you guys doing? I mean, I don't need just I have very little confidence in anything the government of Japan is saying. I mean, obviously they're in crisis and it's really terrible situation, and there's quite likely thousands of people dead, and even more thousands suffering. I mean, I'm just thinking about someone's grandma underneath her house. She might even be too weak to call out for help. I mean, it's just horrific. And then we've got a cooling station exploding. I mean, wow. Well, some pretty serious stuff. Boy, I sure am glad I moved to Japan, huh? That's... Whew. Okay, well, that's all. Signing off.